having creators come out and ask us how they can work with the project, because we've been really trying to push our community growth and organic growth here. I can share that I do have a couple meetings set up next week, honestly, with a couple people in this crypto space that I never imagined that I would even meet, let alone have the opportunity to work with. So showing up to spaces is incredible, but being part of this crypto community and grinding every single day and being consistent and sticking to your project roadmap is incredibly important here. So in terms of what you've got listed here in terms of a CEX, there may be an option with that. I can't really say definitively for now, but we are working on some bigger things here, and join the Telegram group, see the the Saiyan army come into the group and share these stories. Connecting with spaces last week, there was a guy from Boston that used to make Goku pictures and Dragon Ball Z pictures growing up, and he's going to send us some of that art that he created from 30 years ago. So these are the stories. This is the way you build a cult community and build that following. So if anyone ever has any questions or want any advice, reach on out. We're super happy to share and help build the community, because that's what it's about.
So I see that we have a couple of hands up, but I'm gonna stay with the Goku for a minute or two. What are they reaching out to you about? What do you think the secret of that is? Is it because they feel some sort of connection with the Goku property, with Dragon Ball Z? Because you do have. Last time you were on, we I guess it was last week, was the 40th anniversary of Goku. I think Dragon Ball Z is even older than that. So you've got decades of lore behind that. You've got people who have lots of feeling about the subject matter. Like, it's a lot of fun. It's something that people relate to from their own childhoods, or in my case, from like their kids watching it. Is that what is bringing people in who are approaching you creatively, or how is that working?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think we've got kind of like the perfect mix that we've found here. Obviously, we've got a token and a project that means something to so many people, and the people coming out of the works with this is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Goku and Dragon Ball Z, without a doubt, was probably one of the biggest cult cartoons of a generation, and it's inspired a lot of people running in this industry alone. I mean, all you have to do is look at any token project when things are going well and you've got green candles, they're going Super Saiyan on the blockchain. So it's a sentiment not only among our project, but honestly, pretty much any project out there. I mean, I saw, Rodney, who's, massive in this Twitter space, got nearly 100,000 followers, and, he's posting a Goku Super Saiyan, talking about things going green on the blockchain. So the importance of that and the sentiment around that is incredible. And, when you're building a cult-like community like the Saiyan Army, I mean, yeah, we're 100 to 150x up from a month ago, which is, bonkers, and honestly don't believe it. But, with this, we're really focused on building a community that doesn't care about price and price action and only wants to see the army get bigger and louder. There's 300 to 400 million people worldwide that have an affinity with Goku and Dragon Ball Z. So bringing those people out of the woodworks, bringing more retail into it, yeah, we'll create more price action, but building a bigger army, like the stories in our Telegram group, I shit you not, like, give me goosebumps reading them, and they come in, day after day after day, and people showing like how important this movement was to them. We're really creating an amazing cult movement here beyond just what the market cap is saying.
Definitely. Well, it's great to have you on again, Goku, and that's fantastic. There is definitely an opportunity to touch on something that reverberates with other people or resonates with them. The cat. Yeah, what's up, man? You have your hand up.
I was just gonna say, I mean, look at the Bitcoin chart. It looks like a meme coin that's about to top blast up to 120,000 to me.
Yeah,
it's like I would buy that.
Mhm.
If I
No,
wasn't already
I
holding it, I would buy it, and I wouldn't be surprised if it broke through 100,000 in the next 4 hours.
Yeah, that's true, and of course, as people on the show are probably familiar with, people are often fond of saying that Bitcoin is fundamentally a meme coin, which really it is. It's based on an idea in a lot of ways, folks. It's the most successful. Nobody else is going to be able to be Bitcoin because it's kind of the first, and it is at this point, this whole time up till now, definitely the most important cryptocurrency in the world. But ultimately, it is staked in faith, which means that functionally it works much the same way that any other meme coin would work. It's based around an idea. Um,
I mean,
Evis, you have, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
well, I was also going to say that as we were talking, it reminded me that because the question of this space is, are meme coins getting a holiday boost? And I remember in 2020 into 2021, at the time I was one of the top 10 SHIB holders, believe it or not. But that
Right,
Christmas, there was a huge boost to everything. Like it was
right.
it was insane because everyone was sitting down and telling each other about these meme coins, and SHIB was one of the coins that benefited from that.
Right. Definitely. Yeah, I think there's a lot of room, even though you've got these small communities of dedicated holders that are really making conviction plays around the meme coins that communities that they participate in. That keeps meme coins from following Bitcoin price movements on a direct one-to-one basis. But at the same time, everyone's going to be feeling, having more money. They're going to feel a little bit, more liquid with Bitcoin up as high as it is, and more bullish on crypto overall. I stress that for me, it remains to be seen whether this next administration is going to give us more friendly regulation than the last administration. They've said a few bullish things, but definitely what I can't tell you how it will really go in real life, but I'll tell you that the sentiment right now has been extremely bullish, and that's been good to see. I think the whole market was, kind of depressed for a while there. Evis, yeah, you have something to add?
Yeah, you gave me the right cue, Justin. I have a question for everybody that is speaking or anybody else that is listening and want to answer. I've been around spaces maybe 4 or 5 hours a day listening to everyone. I've been investing since 1995. I've been through all the dot-com boom bust and everything. And the question is, and also Justin to you is, um, there is huge euphoria in the market. Everybody's saying that there's a super cycle, it's a bull run, it's happening. We're seeing it. Bitcoin is 100,000. We all know that for this to continue, we need fresh capital coming into the markets, either being on a decentralized exchange or any exchange for that matter, and people to keep buying coins. And my question is, where is it going to come from? Who has money to put into meme-based
Well,
tokens?
if
Yep.
if I answer this one myself, I have a lot of thoughts on this specific to Bitcoin. That's a much easier question to answer than the rest of it. Near term, like say into Q1, Q2, probably throughout throughout 2025. This is not financial advice, folks. I'm just a writer and producer in the space, so I have my own opinions, of course, and opinions as a degen, but don't take my financial advice. I think that Bitcoin is going to get a big institutional boost. I think that Michael Saylor is putting out a message by purchasing 5.4 billion, and I think that it is getting across to the TradFi funds or traditional finance funds that it's time to take a position in this high stakes, high risk asset class known as digital assets, and that's the transition we've been predicting for going on 10 years now. And with the validation, whether it was just a campaign maneuver or not, one way or another, Trump helped thrust Bitcoin, to the fore by talking about it as an audience that he was looking to court. So I think that the money is going to come in, like institutional investors, although they have taken a position in digital assets up till now over the past few years. it is a fairly negligible position. They're spending money that they feel they can afford to lose. I think that this year, they'll be taking more of a real position. Real money will finally buy its way in. I also think that if perhaps this is the year that Tim Draper has been predicting for the past 3 years, where Bitcoin really becomes an attractive alternative that's more efficient, as he's fond of pointing out, more decentralized and more secure than fiat. So, in some ways, functionally better than the US dollar. And I personally expect that these tariffs that we're talking about, if they actually happen, will be hugely damaging to the U.S. economy, and that inflation will continue here effectively for anyone but the top 1% is going to really feel the pinch of that. And that might create a continued perception that BTC is a good route to take. That might accidentally help drive mainstreaming. And then, of course, institutions will be buying in even deeper because BTC will go up to 250. I don't know. That's my answer. Saga, what do you think? Do you have a different take on it?
What was exactly the topic again? Sorry.
Oh, come on, man.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm doing so much.
Bitcoin. What
um,
is it going to go up? Why is it going to go up? That was my
yeah, I think it's
heartfelt
going to go up
greetings
for
on that.
sure. For sure. Bitcoin, oh, that's an easy one. So,
And
we got
where's
the
the money going to
ETF.
come from? That's what Eva's asked. He said, "Who is buying in? Where's the new money coming from?"
Oh, okay. So I think, guys, because we got the ETFs, this is the thing that's going to be the difference, right? Is I think we're actually going to have, those that middle class, those hard workers, the firemen, the policemen, the guys who have that money sitting there where they and put it into something, they just let it sit and build for a long time. They don't touch it. I think, because of the ETFs and stuff, we're going to have a lot of those guys this cycle. And those guys hold for 10, 20 years. They don't trade or nothing. So I think this is going to be a huge cycle. There's a possibility that we don't retrace as much as we did last time or previous cycles. And because of that reason, right? Like we have the guys who have those pensions or whatever they're called, 401ks and shit. I don't know anything about those, right? I mean, I'm 30, I'm 31. I don't, so I never was into that kind of stuff. But those guys, the firemen and stuff, I'm sure you guys know, right? They have all those kind of things. They're going to invest into Bitcoin through the ETFs and whatnot. And they're just going to sit on their hands with it. They're not going to touch it. Uh, so it's going to be I think it's going to be a crazy bull run just for that reason. And then, like I said, yeah, it won't retrace as much. So it's going to be interesting. What do you do then? Do you hold long term more so, or do you let go of more of your bags because you think there's going to be a dip like previous cycles, and then you buy the bottom? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But some people think that things will be the same as always, and that's also a safe bet too, because there's a lot of times where people talk about all this bullishness, but then it's the same always. So, but this time things are very different. So I don't know. But
Well,
yeah, thanks for
Saga,
giving me a voice.
yeah, thank you for like I rugged myself right at the beginning,
I saw that.
so you carried it exactly long enough to make it not obvious that I had thrown myself off.
There you go. That's my job, right? Yeah, but it should be a pretty fun one. And in spaces like this, just really freaking help. I'm sure, like, for people like me and with the FEFE team, I'm sure Kenji and other, projects, Goku, TrueCoin, it's cool because on a Friday like this, when we're like, okay, what could we do? What space could we get on? What activity could we do for the community and get out there? People like Justin are just providing it for us, right? It just almost is like natural, right? So I could be with my family on Thanksgiving and I just see a DM from Justin. I'm like, oh, cool, some content I could provide, and So yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's going to be a fun bull run. Other cycles they didn't have this, with Twitter and Spaces and people just, they had Spaces last cycle, but think about a couple of cycles ago. It wasn't as convenient as this. Yeah, go ahead, TrueCoin, I guess, or Justin. If it seems like Justin's still having a problem, so
Yeah, you know what? I just want to add a couple of stuff. Just I was thinking that we are talking about BTC, and in my opinion, BTC gives all the whole crypto kind of a sustainable model. Like it's not crypto is not scam. We have scam, but in general, it's not a scam. But I wanna talk about Solana and about Ethereum just because, from my opinion, money could come to us from that side just because. And actually, Aptos, do you guys know that Aptos is going strong in Europe with some institutionals and some banks, and they are doing partnerships, and from that way, money also can come to crypto, and it's already coming. And at the moment, I think we will have soon Solana ETF. Any opinions about that? Any predictions?
I'd like to pop in here for sure
Sure.
and say, yeah, we're going to see a Solana ETF probably within like the first few months of 2025. It's sort of written, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see a meme coin ETF just based on the fact that popular culture has been a big thing for more than 40 years, whether we recognize it or not. I know Justin and I have talked about this in depth, but
Definitely.
it's the reason why someone picks Nike or brand name clothes over something else. It's
Yeah.
really no better, but it's where people have that push for, and it's going to be incredible. And my bold prediction is we do see a meme coin ETF and a Solana ETF here within like Q1, Q2 of 2025. Justin,
Thank
I'll take it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I assume everyone can hear me. Thank you, for Goku, for handling that. It like I got back on and then it threw me off again like 4 times in a row. So I just switched to my computer. Anyway, good to see y'all. And Goku's right. That is one of my pet predictions for 2024. Let's go over to sorry, dude. I'm trying to keep track of who's spoken and who hasn't. But let's go over to Podchain. Podchain, what do you think of in each of a meme coin ETF for 2024 that's maybe to some degree constructed around the blue chips, but is also constructed around just distributing, like, I have a distributed portfolio of meme coins. So you have kind of a shared risk in that way. What do you think, man? Possibility?
I definitely think it will be a possibility and it will happen in the future and act like a mutual fund. As you're mentioning, Justin, there will be a big portfolio of multiples of the top meme coins because eventually they're going to want to take on a little more risk to get those bigger gains. But agreed with the Solana ETF as well. I actually think we're going to see XRP first. I think that's coming. And then we're going
Yes.
to start seeing Solana and these other top ones, Cardano, pretty much you name them. And then we're going to start seeing, like you said, the meme coin ETF. I think there's going to be ETFs with like mutual funds that have tons of these holdings. All like you can get one with the top 100 cryptos. You can get
Yeah.
one with this. It's going to be broken down in investment strategies similar to how the stock market is. When are you retiring? When do you plan to? What's your risk tolerance? All these different things. Are you more interested in stocks? Are you more interested in bonds? It's going to be the same thing in crypto. Hey, you want to take a little more risk? Get into this meme coin ETF. That's kind of where we're going.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I felt like the Solana ETF, aside from the fact that, like, is anybody denying that this new life of that Solana has? Because I've been following it for a few years now. I remember following them through before the meme coin phenomenon, when the only time we were ever talking about them in the news is when they had downtime, and their strongest message was that they were environmentally friendly. It wasn't popping off for them. It wasn't happening the same way. I'll go over to Show Guy because I haven't had you on the space yet. Hello, Shell Guy. What do you think of a meme coin ETF? Are we ready to have the norm? On the one hand, we all want the money, of course. We want the liquidity in our space, but are we ready to have the normies have that much of a say in what we're doing in our weird little space here? That I always wonder that.
Of course, of course, of course, we are ready. It all depends how the whole space shields. You know what I'm saying, and it's gonna come. It's gonna come. Definitely, it's gonna come.
You think it's going to? Do you think it's going to change things?
Of course, it's gonna change things. It's gonna get so much more freedom in the people's hands.
Yeah.
Freedom of expression and freedom of choice, because not everyone wants to buy low float, high FDV coins which VCs frag.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, definitely, I think that any sort of shift in the zeitgeist toward crypto is an indication that people are sick of the status quo. That absolutely seems to be the case. They're looking for alternatives. They're looking for more variety. You know, let's go back over to Tashi, because I haven't been with you guys in a minute. You know, are you hearing any kind of different rumblings coming from your board? People are obviously already very heavily on board, very invested in Tashi, and you guys have had an awesome run and so forth. But, you know, people are looking for options going into 2025. You know, how do you handle that? How do you handle the aspirations of your community, and how is it impacting your narrative, which I imagine continues to evolve as you grow?
Could you ask the question again, but in a different way? I'm guessing,
So,
are you? Yeah, go for it.
you know, people have huge aspirations for 2025. They're looking for some sort of change. I think that this is indicative of the fact that most people have gotten squeezed over the past 3 years by major inflation, which matters, you know, quite a bit to you know, anybody but the top, you know, 10% or 1% of the economy. You know, how are you seeing this play out within Toshi's narrative, and how do you adjust to your narrative to kind of like the changing mood of your audience?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we see a lot in memes, and that's especially true in the Toshi community, is the popular saying of "believe in something." And I
Yeah,
think meme coins embody that fully, and no other type of token in the crypto space does that better. It's, you know, believing in something is the true essence of a meme coin. And in Toshi, we kind of we were born out of that, and the community stayed together because of that. You know, Toshi came out of a CTO, and thanks to strong community members, it managed to survive all these months, right? A meme being over a year old is insane. It's not really seen in our space. So I think in terms of aspirations and how we see the sentiment of the community, it always comes back to, I'd say, having that very strong core group of people that keep the ship together. That you know, they remain bullish. They truly believe in something. And in terms of aspirations, um, I think, as far as we are concerned, we like to lead by example, in the sense of doing the most that we can for a project, and we have a very committed team that's working every day to make things happen. And at the end of the day, myself as an investor as well in projects, I want to put my money where I see the team delivering and where I see the team striving for a better future for the project, and that's kind of what we want to embody in Toshi as well. And at the end of the day, that's also what kind of we look for to separate us from the pack, and make Toshi a good choice to bet on.
definitely. And if you've already got kind of the strength of belief behind you, you know, we're going to probably wrap it up by about quarter after, folks, but let's go in and speculate a little bit about next year. We're going to try and get Pop Dog up here if we can. I'm not sure if you guys are looking to speak or not, but let's go ahead over to TrueCoin. You know, if you had to summarize in like about a sentence, because we're trying to do kind of a speed round here, you know, 6 words, how do you expect meme coin projects to change in 2025 versus January 2024? What kind of difference are you looking for? Go ahead, TrueCoin.
Just 6 words. Oh my goodness. That's all what I can say in the 6 words. But you know what? I think that will be growing. And I see kind of meta about AI agents and their meme coins. So it's kind of so interesting narrative. And I think that this it will be a huge ocean. And we just need to help people how to swim in it, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah, so
Baggy,
it will grow for sure.
Baggy, what about you, man? How do you expect the meme coin projects themselves to change? Hopefully, we're getting a little bit older and wiser.
Yeah, hey guys, hey Justin, hey everybody. The thing is, crypto it's about community. And if you build a real community from the beginning, that project will go to the moon, will be on the top. So I really see a tendency in the direction to create an organic community. I saw small market cap communities like from Panfan go in spaces, try to make a name, try to speak through, try to create an organic community. And I think this will be the next level in crypto. Of course, we grow in that direction, but it's a little bit like uh, you spoke, guys, about how money will come in the market. The thing is, we have a lot of money that still go on scams. Like on
Right.
Pamfan, 90% go on to scammers. So if we find a solution to bring that money to real projects, we will have a better crypto. And I think, again, and I said again and again, spaces will bring more people in real projects. So bullish on spaces, bullish on this kind of spaces, Justin, and bullish on people here that grind every day and want to make a name in crypto.
By
So
this,
yeah,
by these kind of spaces, you mean spaces that talk about topics rather than doing shill spaces, or what do you mean?
anything, Justin
Okay.
it's like if you make a chill and chill, a good chill and chill with a little bit of fun there, you know, it's good, you know.
Yeah.
And and I really believe in connectivity, to have connection, like to know different projects, to know different communities, to work together, to make spaces together, and we will win. It's simple in the final, and
Right.
yeah.
Right. What do you think, Saga? Man, how do you think projects are going to change in 2025 versus what we've seen in 2024? And are spaces going to stay kind of at the top of the meta? They certainly have been hot for the past 3 or 6 months or so.
Um, yeah, I think spaces will continue to get more popular. I'm hoping that, across other social medias that people are going to start finding out about spaces and, come to like them and start, doing them more. So I think they'll get bigger, and I think they're a good way to talk and spread your meme coin for sure and get mind share within the market. Um, and then also I think, meme coins will grow into becoming brands and stuff. So I think there's a bright future for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely when you're launching a meme coin, you're launching a brand, free of product or service essentially. And then you go and figure out what the product or service would be, based on communication with the community. It's kind of a cool way to do things. That's what I feel like we've done with Lambo, definitely. And I think it's been more to the better. In some ways, it's a realization of the potential of Web3 because this is two-way communication between the content producer and the consumer. Let's go over to Kenji. What do you think, man? What are you looking for more of in meme coin projects in 2025?
I think, Justin, to be quite honest, I think a lot of meme projects are going to maybe copy what we did back this past summer, upgrading to a token 2022 contract to actually run a true project or company, registering their PFP in in their company name. And real investors in 2025 are going to be looking for projects with accountability. Meme token are not. These are the things that real people, real investors from the outside world who have not invested in crypto yet are going to be looking into getting into these particular projects. And that's why we did it here at Kenji this past summer. I knew, because I'm a businessman, and in business, you want to make sure that your consumers, your investors, are getting most out of their investment. And it comes down to the fundamentals, Justin. I think a lot of meme projects are going to start seeing that they're going to have to step up to the plate, dox themselves, be real about it, and have accountability. There has to be accountability. There's no accountability right now with the pump fund tokens, but 2025, I can almost guarantee you, serious projects, serious crypto projects, regardless of the blockchain, will be real businesses running these PFPs and communities, and the communities will only grow times 10. The market cap will grow with it organically. Everything is going to be growing the right way. 2025 is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, quick show of hands from the projects of the panel here. Does everybody have at least one doxed founder? Is there anybody that doesn't and wants to talk about that a little bit? I don't want to call anybody out negatively, but like, Fefe, do you have a docs team or no?
Yeah, so like we're not the founders because the dev cheated in the
Right,
beginning and we don't know,
right,
but I'm doxed, and I'm like I guess officially the leader of the project now. The community put me in charge. So
right.
yeah, I'm doxed.
So, what do you think the importance of that is to be like? It seems like it impacts trust a whole lot.
Yeah, it does impact trust a lot. I feel like I mean, it's the one of the reasons why I invested into ArcBlock ABT, is because like that's an altcoin and the founder's doxed. I see him on Forbes. He's like, so it just made me feel like, oh, I can do some research into this guy, see his history and all this. And also, it kind of seems like, there could be some maybe like accountability or something because you actually know the real life person's name. So it's just and we all know that like yes, there's been plenty of doxed people that have pulled scam. I mean, look at Sam Bankman-Fried, right?
Right.
He's doxed, but there's a nice element to it. It's like you kind of know more so who's behind the project, and so it does make a big difference because I've personally seen from people like you know that they like it,
Mhm.
and I like it too because it helps. There's something I think that a lot of doxed people don't think about. And there's a power in that being able to, if you're not doing anything wrong and you can show all the receipts, and you can prove, like, hey, I did nothing wrong. There's nothing, because there's going to be people in crypto that will sometimes accuse or make false claims and stuff. And I've seen it happen to completely innocent people. And
Sure.
so if you're doxxed and you're willing to show proof that you're innocent, that's going to help you, because then you're just like, oh, that's done. So
Right.
I think there's some benefits in having a doxed dev or leader, because then those allegations can just be washed away for the project as well. And it's like, okay, boom, continue on. So
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Definitely. It seems like there are tons of benefits to it. Let's go over to who would be a good person next. Let's go over to TrueCoin. I think you had your hand up before. Of course, TrueCoin is coming from a different kind of position. To me, the meme coin phenomenon has paralleled the communities that developed around NFTs. And I remember in 2020 or 2021 thinking that was pretty strange that it was kind of like hip to be not doxed. To be, I mean, I guess that's because you can create kind of a persona and then interact based around that persona, which I understand the creativity of that. But buying $150,000 NFT from somebody who you don't personally know on any level or know their real name or so forth, it sounds kind of dodgy, doesn't it?
It sounds so weird. It sounds like insane move, but
Right.
people have done that. Yeah, we have a docs team, and in CIS region, people knows me very well just because I'm hosting podcasts, so working as a speaker, interviewer, and so on. And yeah, our CEO is docs, and it's very, very important. And I'm using that fact that we are doxed to our community. And I was speaking in the same words as who it was. Goku, it was you, or Kenji, it was you. That if you know the person, if you know who is the CEO, maybe CDO, it's very important for you to do like the first research about any project, any meme, any NFT collection, doesn't matter, you name it. If you see Doc's team, go ahead, research a little bit more. If you see Doc's team, wait a second, does it smells like scam? Oh, yes. So I know you love me, Justin. I know,
I like you bring
Yeah.
drama. I like that. You bring a dramatic presentation, and yes, I have a background in theater, so I do love that.
Oh,
It's good to have you on. Let's
Thank
go
you,
over it.
Seer. Thank you.
Let me go over to Podchain and ask them. What do you think, Podchain? You know, is it at this point? People do like to know who they're doing business with. Is there any point to being on Docs these days?
Yes, I mean, I see both sides of it. Me personally, Brian, speaking from this account, I am pro docs. I want to see who the founders are. If I'm investing big time money into a project, just like in any IRL kind of investment, and we're docs through CertiK, KYC Gold. Our entire core team is. So if we did something nefarious, we're going to be held accountable. They're going to come after us. With the police and whatnot. So like I'm a big fan of it. If I'm looking to push a bunch of money, I want to know who is going to be in charge of that money, like who these people are. I want to do a background check. I want to figure this stuff out. All that research that none of us ever seem to do because we're in meme coins and we run around and just ape money around. That's the research I want to do. I want to get in. I want to find out. I want to know who the person is, because it creates a level of accountability, right? Yes, docs people still do rugs. They still are nefarious. They're still bad people, but it's much harder for them to get away unscathed, if they are docs. So that's just kind of my opinion on the whole thing.
Definitely. And I would tend to agree with you. I mean, I think these days we tell people to do their own research, but we don't really tell them how, like that's the thing. And I think that Twitter Spaces has been a really positive part in terms of like, you work with projects that you get to know in some way or another. I think that's kind of what the difference is. Let's go over to Touch Grass because I've just brought you guys up and we're going to wrap it up in the next 10 minutes or so. Touch Grass, what do you think in terms of accountability? How important is that with your audience? Do you have at least a partially docs team?
Hey, thanks for bringing me up. Yeah, it's a interesting conversation about talk about the docs versus undocs for a little while. Personally, I run a doxed project, Touchgrass and Holdern. Been doing these for one project for over a year, and this one's almost going on 6 months. And I've had a conversation with a number of people in my community and other developers in the space. And the thing is that when you're docs, there is a level of accountability, and I know people do like that. But what I have found, which is interesting, is that people tend to like the lure of speculation, not knowing who actually is behind something. So that's why we do see, unfortunately, a lot of these scam projects that don't have docs teams doing very well until they don't. The big, P&D up and down. So with running a project, there is the accountability piece to it when you're doxxed. I mean, if someone scams you when you're doxxed, then they can only do it a couple of times usually, unless you're just, trying to play the game of musical chairs and get it out before it falls apart. I actually do know a couple people that do that, that have done that. But a few projects that are still around today that have become CTOs where they were scammed by someone and then they went and launched another thing over and over and over again. And the guy's fully doxxed in the space, but they has a big enough following that the ones close enough to them just don't care. So
Sure.
It's interesting, doxing. Like, does it mean the project's going to do better or worse? I wouldn't say yes or no. It does have that accountability piece to it, to the person that's behind it. But I don't think it means that a project will do well or not these days, because people love to speculate and they throw a wild amount of money at speculation, not knowing what something is.
Right, definitely. What about you? Are you a docs project, and do you think that's an important part of your formula?
I am. Been fully doxed in the space for years.
Right.
Yeah,
I was going over to Wen on that one. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Oh, no worries.
When you with us? Nope. When DRC 20? No, all right. Let's go over to FEFE. Let's talk about next year. What do you think? We'll just do a speed round. We're going to wrap the show next little while. By the way, thank you for everyone for joining us on this Black Friday. I hope you're getting plenty of good deals. I hope if you celebrate, you got some good turkey yesterday. It's a sleepy weekend here in Pennsylvania in the United States where I am. FEFE, going over to you. What are you expecting to see the different? Quickly summarize the difference between January 2024 meme coin project and January 2025 meme coin project. I feel like you can tell there's a shift in the space. What is that shift?
Well, I mean, a shift in the space. I mean, there is, I think, a difference if you're talking about, because 2024 to 2025, I mean, if you're talking about 2021, that the last cycle till now, then, last cycle, I think it was definitely a lot harder. You had to like, you had to like really, like something like Shiba Inu did really well, right? Like I feel like if you wanted to be a really big project, you kind of had to do something super legendary and unique where you like sent supply to like Vitalik, and then he, hopefully he sent it to some organization, or something, and then you could blow up, which kind of happened here with Nero, right? But now you're starting to see in this cycle a lot of projects able to pick up and rise from the ashes, just purely based off community, good art, content, and stuff. It's not like you need some absolutely epic legendary narrative like Vitalik's, selling your token or something. So it's cool. People, it seems like there's more money in the market to go around. People are more open to investing into different projects and memes. And so it's just good. It's good to see basically the industry advancing, right? And that's what we're seeing. So
Definitely. I see things growing up a little bit. I see projects that just take themselves more seriously. But of course, I am influenced by the projects that are willing to come on our show and speak to us. And by the way, folks, everybody at home, go ahead and follow all of these good people. Follow me too if you'd like to. Follow When Alt Season. We're going to continue to keep trying to come at you with the biggest meme coin show on Twitter. And as we have been, our continuation of the previous show. Um, it's a good time for meme coins, partially because of spaces like these. You get to talk to actual humans about the projects themselves, the people that are actually running the projects. Shill Guy, do you have anything to add? What are you looking for different in 2025 versus 2024?
Honestly, I just want to chill. I don't want to chill. I don't want to become a chill guy. And 2025, 2026, just fucking chilling.
Okay, right. So less shilling, more honesty. What about you, Goku? You had your hand up.
Hey, yeah, I think when we're looking at the difference between now and 2025 is the mainstream adoption of meme coins in the space. We are leading the charge in terms of Web3, but I think it's the mainstream, the retail, the normies understanding that meme coins are just as the same as why people buy branded clothes over non-branded clothes, why someone buys a luxury car. And it's really like, excuse my language, but it's going to fuck shit up more than we even anticipate. And I think the biggest thing that I'm going to say, and I'm being incredibly bullish about it, is face melting gains, because I really think once retail and more normies get in here, we have no idea about how much it's going to pump up meme coins, and you're going to see meme coins flip Reebok, Nike, Adidas, Home Depot, DeWalt, Milwaukee, any of those big brands, and we're not going away, and it's going to become more evident in the retail space real fast.
I think that's a great point. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up around there. Toshi, is there anything that you'd like to add? Or any alpha you could drop for us, man? What do you think?
Like I mentioned earlier, no alpha, but we're excited. Good things are coming.
See,
Sorry, brother.
that's just me breaking you down, man. I'm trying to
I
trick
know.
you. I feel like,
You'll
what if I
get
go
there. You'll
back and
get there.
ask him again like an interrogator?
I actually,
Appreciate you.
can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pinned something which I think is alpha. I also have an alpha account as well, but I pinned the thing about the AI agent mindshare, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with these coins, but I think this is going to be the big thing in 25. It's going to be the explosion and sucking of liquidity into all of these agents in the lower tiers that get more mindshare than the upper tiers, because that's actually happening.
Right. Yeah, no, I absolutely hear that. And I have not been a great prognosticator of technology in the past. I chronicle it as it happens, but I have never been very lucky about predicting it ahead of time. But I tell you what, folks listening at home, not financial advice, but I've heard a lot of murmurings that AI is going to play a bigger role. And it makes sense because AI last year, I kind of expected it to take over in January and Q1, and it kind of was a little bit of a non-starter. I mean, it's still out there. It still raised a lot of funds. Where are the novel use cases? That's what we really need as far as I can see. But hey, I'll be interested in seeing that happening this year. In the meantime, folks, you've joined us for our weird little Black Friday show. Thank you so much for coming out and joining us. It's been a fantastic show. Thank you to all the guests that have been on, particularly Toshi and Goku, for making a giant muscular cartoon version of me. I very much appreciate it. Everyone around me got a kick out of it. But we love all you guys. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for joining us. We will be back again on Thursday at our regular time, which is 11 Eastern for those of us in Eastern time. On Thursday, we just moved it to Friday today because yesterday was Thanksgiving. If you did celebrate, I hope that you had a good holiday. And I try, if you get any chance, to detach from your devices today and stop talking or thinking about crypto, as I will attempt to do after Spaces. Like every time I do a show, I go downstairs and I say hi to my wife, and if I'm too hyped, I just continue to talk about crypto for like the next hour and a half. I'm like a drag car trying to throw the parachute and slow myself down because I can't stop talking about crypto. So do yourself a favor to try and get away from your connected devices. Don't look in your phone. Go outside, walk your dog if you have one. Maybe get a golden retriever if you don't have one, because they're amazing. All dogs are, but that's what I'm going to try and do today. Stay warm, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, When Alt Season. Thank you, Toshi. Thank you, Goku, and to all the guests today. We love you, and we will see you next week. All right, everyone. Peace.